what's up, rock stars? It's Rox coming to you today with a review for Delilah Season 1, Episode 3. So, you guys, if you didn't watch my Love and Hip Hop video, it is before work. It's dark. It's, this time change, and it's also bad weather, so that's why it's dark. So that's why I kind of have this, my iPad is giving me the light that I need. So let me hold this up. I guess this gives me a more clear, you can see me better than in my Love and Hip Hop. I look kind of spooky. Anyway, you guys, the review, let's get to it, shall we? All right, you guys, so the show opens with Delilah showing Leah the pictures that Tamara sent her, and she's pissed. Why didn't you tell me about this? You lied to me and you told me that you guys weren't in a relationship. And Leah said she didn't think that it mattered. Okay, well, what is exactly the story here? For real. And she says, well, she met Fred Osborne 6 years ago, and that they have been maintaining this relationship for all these times. He basically was taking care of her, paying her rent, paying her car note or whatever. That's kind of what it was. She was just sort of like a paid, kept woman. And I guess she had to give him the little benefits on the side. Delilah says, so did he hire you because you guys are in a relationship? And she was like, no, but he did tell me that he didn't want me to do this anymore. So when the job came available, she got hired in that way. I said, well, maybe he either didn't want her doing that anymore, or maybe he was trying to figure out a way to get out of this relationship. At any rate, Delilah just finding out this story, and they got this reporter coming over, to try to protect her, to get the story out so that nothing like what happened to old boy last week, what's his name, Gary, what happened to Gary last week won't happen to her this week. So Delilah was like, don't lie to me no more. Okay, whatever happened, you need to tell me. And she says, okay. So the reporter comes in there, and Delilah is overseeing Leah, and the reporter is asking her all these questions, and Leah's doing swimmingly, doing very well, answering the questions, not getting off track, not saying anything inappropriate, just telling her about the radio being dangerous. Okay, Delilah gets a phone call in the middle of this, and she is just like, excuse me for a second. I said, Delilah, don't you leave that dumbass Leah in there with that girl. What is wrong with you? Now, you already know how Leah is, and we only seen her for 2 episodes, and we know better than to leave Leah in there with the fucking reporter. So she go out, answers the phone, and it's her brother. And get this, brother is mad because she went over to the house and confronted his wife, who is not taking care of his fucking child. Delilah is, remember? So he was just like, whatever the girl's name is. She told me that you came by the house. He's mad. She was like, Negro, do you know that it's a man over there, a big old, tall, strong man in a tank top walking around fucking on your wife? And he was just like, that's Andre. And Andre is a friend of ours and all of this. And I was like, what is wrong with the brother? I know he's been injured in the military. Did something happen to his brain too? Because obviously you calling your sister, who was doing nothing but helping you, and you fussing at her about your whole ass wife over there. Boy, if you don't get off this woman's phone, she was just like, I can't talk to you right now. I'm in a meeting. He was like, well, why you answer the phone, Nick? Click. Nobody got time for this shit. So she's walking back in. The assistant was like, how's it going? She's like, it's going great. I was like, girl, wait till you walk back in there. Sure enough, she go in there, and honey, Leah got her phone out and showing her pictures of men that she done been with and all of this. And the reporter is having a good time. Just like, really, girl? You did what, girl? And I took him for all he got. And I was just like, I told you, Delilah, you gonna have to get better than this, honey. Delilah was like, is that tape recording still going on? And she was just like, yes. Okay, but I got all I got. Thank you. And she just jumps up and walks out. All right. So then Delilah's pissed at her like, I told you to stick to the fucking script. You up here telling her about all these men you've been with, and she's a reporter. So she tells her assistant to get the investigator on the phone. Okay, but what makes matters worse is while she's sitting there fussing at Leah, I think I messed up. Yes, you messed up. Okay. Then the woman walks in the door, and she was just like, hi, I'm from the newspaper, basically. And now Delilah is looking at her like, who was the heifer that just left? All right. Well, the investigator friend comes over. What's his name? Mason. I think that's his name. Mason comes over, and he's got all this high-tech, identification software on his computer where he's able to look at. He was able to get a screen grab of the girl's face when she was coming into the office. And he figures out that she is not a reporter. We already know that, but she's an actress. And she's done a lot of mock trials. And it seems that Wynn Lockley is the person that she's worked for in the past. So most likely she was also hired on to do this job with Wynn Lockley. And you guys know that Tamara works at Wynn Lockley. Okay, so now Delilah is pissed. So she get on the phone and she called Tamara. Tamara answered the phone. She in her office having, everything is good. Hey, girl, I'm glad you called. And Delilah was like, I can't believe you did what you did. And Tamara was like, I did what? What are you talking about? Okay. You sent that lady over here knowing, trying to get information from us. And, she's going off on Tamara. And Tamara was like, Delilah, I really don't know what you're talking about. All right. Just hold on. Cool down for a second. While she's talking to Delilah, she gets an email. And it's actually a voice recording. And when she listens to the voice recording, she pushes play and it's out loud so Delilah can hear on the phone. And it's actually the recording of the conversation that the fake reporter had with Leah. Okay. So now Tamara's sitting there listening to it and Delilah was just like, I can't believe you would do something like this, and hangs up the phone on her. So Tamara's just like, ain't this about a bitch? Because Tamara didn't know nothing about it. So she jump up and she run into the office of her boss. And she's mad. Like, why would you do something like this? This is not how I operate. And I was like, girl, don't get fired. All right, because we can look at you and we can look at him and we know who the boss, okay? At the end of the day, they ain't gonna have respect for us black folks if they feel like we out of place, okay? So she's fussing at him and he was just like, are you just saying this because your friend is the lawyer in that case? He was like, because otherwise we'd have done something like this on any other case. He trying to explain to her the benefits of using this person to come in there and get the information and all of that. And she was just like, this is her case. And she don't want him taking over. You acting like your father, taking over and not respecting what she wants. And like I said, girl, do not get fired. That's all I know. Now, jumping back over to Delilah. Delilah goes see her brother, and the brother got an attitude. She trying to explain to him about Andre being over there, and he got all of the excuses for Andre and all this. And Delilah's like, I cannot sit here and watch you do this. Now, you done went over there. You done went on this second tour. She begged you not to do it. You went. Fine. You got injured. Okay. Now you obviously are feeling guilty because you went against her wishes. You done got injured. So now you just accepting whatever comes from her because you feel like maybe you're not going to meet somebody else is not going to love you or whatever. So you got to take the abuse from your wife who not watching her damn child. Her husband is sitting over here. She can't even bring her ass over here to visit or nothing. And then got the nerve to move in that big ass Debo and think that it's okay. What is wrong with you? Trying to talk some sense to his dumb ass. I said, well, one thing we know with the Greenleaf writers, we always going to have somebody stupid on there. We had Jacob. Now we got Nate. But Nate is like, get out. She tells him that he needs to be a better father to his son. He says, get out. All right, nigga, you know what? You ain't got but one time to keep telling me to get out, and I'm leaving. He's so frustrated. He makes a call and says that he needs help with Delilah. And we don't know who he calls, but we'll find out about that later. Now, Delilah goes home with the kids, and, her daughter is still trying to ride her about getting these free lessons from Miss Virginia. And, Delilah's ain't really sure about that. She still got to meet Miss Virginia. And then here come that badass son, Marcus, coming in, late. She was like, where have you been? Jefferson Park. She was like, didn't I tell you to quit going to that damn park? Okay, give me your phone. That's a week. He was just like, well, I didn't lie about it. I guess that's supposed to make it better that you didn't lie. You better not lie. Okay, because she already kind of figured out where he was anyway. Of course, now that she told him that she don't want him up there, he's like, well, Dad lets me go up there. Well, nigga, I'm not Dad. And you know what? This is the thing with these kids. They'll play one parent against the other. And Delilah don't feel like hearing shit about that ex-husband of hers. She can't even get her 200. So while Delilah's fussing at Marcus, it don't really seem like it's sinking. So then she tries a different approach. So she sits down with him and she says, it's just my job as a mother. When you came out of me, I had to make sure that you were safe. All right. And of course, he don't listen. These damn kids don't listen to reason. You just tell them they ain't on punishment and let that shit be that. But she's irritated about this. So she calls the ex-husband. I don't remember what his name is, you guys. But she's fussing at him about him being up at Jefferson Park. And the ex-husband, every time he be on the phone with Delilah, it's always just sort of like he be holding his head and he be like, what's wrong, Delilah? He whispers. That's also another thing that gets on my nerves is the fact that he always sounds like he's trying to be in control of everything. Like, What's the matter, Delilah? Excuse me, I'm just calling to let you know that Marcus ain't coming over your house anymore until we get on the same page with this. Here go his girlfriend in the background. Who is that on the phone? I said, bitch, don't you see him holding his head? This is my ex-wife is on the phone stance. Stressing me the fuck out. And Delilah hears a voice. She said, who is that? And of course, he doesn't say who it is. You know, he gets off the phone. But I was just like, that damn ex-girlfriend knew what she was doing. That's right, Delilah. Marcus ain't going over there no more. So now she just real stressed out, y'all. She's laying around and she gets a phone call. And it's from Jamal. You guys remember Jamal? Jamal is Casey's boy, his best friend, Tamara's man's friend. Okay. He's calling because he's trying to hook up with Delilah. And Delilah was like, how'd you get my number? And he says, oh, Tamara gave it to me. She was like, yeah, kind of figured. She was like, well, you know, me and Tamara, if I can be, you know, truthful with you, me and Tamara, we got this case going on. And right now we ain't really kind of gelling. And, you know, right now this ain't a good time, basically. And he says, oh, okay. You know, I'll just have to circle back in a little bit. And she was like, yeah, if you could do that. He says, okay, well, you know what? I'll pray that you guys can get past this soon. And she says, wait, what is that you said? And he says, I pray that you can get past this soon. And she's like, oh, you pray? You know, now you just kind of reminded me, I haven't really been to church in a long time. And he was just like, oh, so I'm just like really batting 1,000, okay? Calling at the wrong time, reminding you haven't been to church. And she was just like, no, you know. That Delilah, once she heard about a praying man, you know, she was thinking to herself like, maybe she might have a little time for Jamal. But you know what? She can't think about it right now. Right now, she just gonna say, yeah, come on back in about a month. Let me get past this case and then we'll see what we can do. We gonna hear from Jamal a little bit sooner than that, you guys. I'm pretty sure. And speaking of Tamara, we see Tamara at her house out on the balcony. You know, she's deep in thought, having a drink. Casey comes, who's the perfect man, comes and refreshes her drink with another one. And she's just so upset about what happened. He tells her, why don't you just call Delilah? You guys just call her and talk it out. And she basically is like, what am I calling for? Because I'm not quitting the case. She didn't know that they were going to do this, you know, Osborne, her boss was going to do this, but yet and still, that doesn't really change anything. She's still going forward. So, I mean, what is she calling Delilah to say exactly? Their conversation between the two of them, I don't even know what they was talking about. All I know is they just good looking, both of them together. That husband is whatever. Is he the husband? All I know he's a lieutenant mayor. And child, I was more interested in the little makeout session that they was having. I was like, oh, we about to have a sex scene already on episode 3. We didn't get all of that, but child, they have a heavy makeout session. You know, you can tell that these two love each other. So I am really here for that little relationship. They are cute to me. Next day, old girl's at the office for her first day of work. I can't remember what's her name. What is her name? The new lawyer that she hired on to help her. I can't think of her name. But anyway, she's sitting on the porch waiting for the assistant to get there. She's like, oh, good girl, you super early. Okay, so she parks her car. She lets her in. She was like, I'm going to be getting a key, right? She was like, oh, yeah, you'll get a key. All right, because I guess she's like, I can't be sitting out on this porch waiting all this time for you. So she's showing her around. You know, she shows her to her office, and she's sort of kind of looking around like, oh, this is my office. You know, like, you set this up like this, you know. And the assistant was like, you can kind of do whatever you want to do with it. Miss Lawrence, that's her name, Miss Lawrence. So Delilah comes in, and Delilah is ready to get right to work. And, you know, Miss Lawrence, she is just really an odd character, but she's funny. She definitely is funny, you know. So she's trying to get the feel for her office, and Delilah trying to tell her what they need. And, you know, with this case, okay, yeah, we got something, Osborne Tactical. And as soon as she says the name, Miss Lawrence is like a wealth of knowledge. She knows all about different businesses in the city and all of that. You know, she made it her business to study all these people while she was in school. So she knows about Osborne Tactical. Okay, well then, Fred Osborne, I need you to look up anything in these files, anything that might be showing something about some wrongdoing in these files. I need you to let me know. All right. Then I need you to scan everything in, make sure you tag it, scan it in. And she was just like, oh, you know, there's, you know, better software that can help. And she was like, yeah, but I'm more of a scanner kind of person. So scan the shit in, like I said, and put everything back the way that it was. Because the police might want to look at this. All right. That's right. This might turn out to be a murder case. So Miss Lawrence is like, oh, she didn't know that her first job was going to be so serious. I'm going to need that key. Get Miss Lawrence her key. Now, jumping over to that damn baby daddy. He at home, you know. He looked like he's doing some work online with somebody, and then when his girl comes over, he gets off of there, and she's all excited about, well, I guess she has to move out of her place where she is, and you know, maybe it's time for them to talk about her moving in with him. You know, they've been back together for about a year. And when she said back together, I was like, okay, this must be the one. This was the other woman, the reason why Delilah, or maybe one of the other women, the reason why Delilah and old boy broke up. Because he was like, Delilah don't even know that we're back together. No, I'm sorry. Delilah doesn't know that we're back together. And she was just like, okay, but like, I just told you I'm about to be homeless in 3 weeks. You know, like, what we gonna do about this? Well, sound like you got a problem. It's like, he was just like looking at her like, I don't know what you want me to tell you. She's like, well, is it okay if I stay here and do my work today? Yeah, girl, you can stay today. No, we talking about in 3 weeks. We don't know what you're gonna do, but you can stay today and do your little work. It's all right. Delilah goes to meet Miss Virginia. And Miss Virginia is you know, she's a very, you know, very uppity type of, you know, she's a violinist, and she was in the, you know, she's very like this, and, you know, distinguished and of pedigree, and she's, child, I was just like, girl, you gonna be tired, all this extra, you know, when she's sitting there, she's talking to her, and she's telling Delilah that she's offering these classes to the daughter for free, and Delilah has a problem with it. Delilah was like, yeah, don't you think that that's a little different? And she was just like, yeah, but then Miss Virginia explains to her how basically the doors are not open for Black violinists, definitely not for Black women violinists, and because she has, you know, she has that key, because she's done what she's achieved what she has, you know, she's made it her job to bring other Black people in so that they can perform on these stages, and they can, you know, so she's really just trying to help. And then she said, and remembering the way that you and your ex-husband came up with the money for the violin, I wouldn't think that you got money for these classes, do you? I mean, you can pay me if you want to, but I'm trying to help y'all. Okay, Delilah said, yeah, we ain't really got money like that. Okay, well, girl, I mean, do you want to do this or not? Is basically what Miss Virginia said. Just all, you know, hoity-toity. I hope she's going to be on there a lot, because I like doing Miss Virginia. So when Delilah finishes having her conversation, her very frank conversation with Miss Virginia, when she comes out of the room, she tells her daughter, yes, you can have the lessons. And her daughter is very, very happy. You don't see her kids happy too often, so I'm glad for the daughter. Now, back at the office, we see Miss Lawrence. She's hard at work in her office. The assistant, I can't remember her name. I got to get these names together, you guys. But the assistant is leaving for the day. Okay, you got your key, so, you know, you going to be all right? She's, oh, yeah, girl, I'm going to be okay. Oh, you did something with the office. Okay, she got her feng shui in there the way that she needs it. But okay, girl, I'm going to leave you to it. So Miss Lawrence is looking through the files, and then she sees something that piques her interest. And then she sees, you know, you can see on her face that it looks like it's something serious. And she's sort of looking like, oh, Lord, what is this? I said, child, what is it? Now, back at the house, Delilah has Mason over. And he's her investigator, but he's also her friend. And then I kind of got the idea that maybe they might have dated like a long time ago, like maybe back when they were, I don't know, maybe they didn't date. There's some sort of sexual chemistry that's going on there, but not really. Like, he kind of might be a player a little bit, but then he really does like Delilah, but they haven't crossed the line, but it's could have been, or maybe they dated in high school back a long, long time ago and it wasn't super serious. Something is going on there. Okay. When they're drinking the wine, he was like, you know what, let's play Uno like we used to back in the day when the kids would go to sleep and all that. So I was just like, what is this back in the day that we speak of? Anyway, while they're talking, there's a knock at the door, and she goes to the door, and it is her father. Okay. And she's like, what are you doing here? And he's like, I'm here to pick up Dion. I said, don't tell me that the old trifling ass brother of yours then called your daddy for him to come over there. So that's the person that he needed help with, is to go over there. And I said, this nigga, child, for real, y'all really want us to not like Nate, huh? Okay. So she was just like, what? And he was just like, you can't hold on to this boy. The father has a right to have his son where he wants his son to be. And she was just like, why are you guys trying to rip this little boy away? He done been through enough already. Okay, he been traumatized and all this, and then here you come over here because my old sorry ass brother over there worried about his damn wife when he really should be worried about his kid. Okay, so the father was like, you don't have any right, you cannot keep this boy. Okay, so she's a lawyer, so she knows that, right? So she goes back in the house, and Dion was like, why is Papa here? Okay, so she takes him outside, you know, because the kids are everybody is trying to figure out what's going on. She was like, go in there and make the damn meatballs and leave me alone. Okay, been a fucking stressful ass day. So she take old Dion outside, and you know, she's explaining to him that, you know, Papa came over, you know, and little boy said that he doesn't want to go with Papa, he wants to stay there with her, and you know, Delilah ain't gonna let this boy go. Okay, she cannot see, because she's the only one. First of all, Papa ain't around the boy at all, and then the brother, he ain't really been around his son enough to know anything either about raising a child. All right, this the mama. We got this shit. I'm the daddy. So you know, she ain't let this boy go. So she go back in there. She put Dion down. She go outside and she tell her father, I am not giving you Dion. Okay, you go get a warrant if you want to. But you got to know that this is not healthy for this child for you to be ripping him away because my damn brother's in his feelings. And you got your own damn nerves, okay? You didn't put our family through hell and the shit that you did. You would think that somebody would learn from the shit that they done in the past and do better. Learn from what you did. Trying to ruin Dion's life. So hell no, nigga, you ain't taking the little boy. Get off my porch. Okay, so she leave her daddy where he came on the outside of her door, closes the door, goes back inside. Okay, everybody's just sort of looking. All right, of course, she apologizes to the kids, to Marcus, for her tone. I said, girl, that's all they quit apologizing to these damn kids. You got every right to be the way that you are. Okay, so child, you know, so I'm sorry for my tone. Girl, and they're gonna piss you off, and 15 minutes later again, there's another knock at the door, and this time it's Tamara. And she's like, hey girl, you know, I came on by, you know, we ain't got to talk about the case at all, but we ain't hung out as girls. Like, I went and got us some tacos and guacamole and chips, and, you know, I'm over here, and, you know, let's just sit outside like old times, and let's just talk and have a good time. And, you know, Delilah was like, Tamara, I can't do this with you right now. I really can't. Okay, it's been a badass day. And my dad just left here trying to take Dion. Tamara's still like, girl, come on, we can have a girls' night. Like, hey, y'all, how the family doing? Girl, I can't believe you turned down Jamal. All that fineness. And Delilah looking at her, it's like it's not going to happen. When she says hi to the family, you know, they all sort of like, hi. And then they kind of look at Delilah. Tamara's like, Mason, can you let her know, honey? Mason turned around like, you ain't fixing to get me in this. And then Tamara really felt bad. She was like, I can't do this with you today, girl. You going to have to go. Okay. And Tamara was just sort of like, oh, okay. I said, oh, yeah, I did feel bad for Tamara. I said, you molded, girl. She thought she was about to hang out with her girl, and the girl had to shut the shit down. I said, oh, poor Tamara. When she went out there in front of the house and looked back, I said, oh, womp, 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 womp. So that's the interruption number 2. She goes back in the kitchen with the kids, you know, who over there washing dishes. And, you know, they just need some clarity. Now, we are still friends with Tamara, right? And she says, yes, we just can't do shit with Tamara right now, but everything is fine. Okay? Then we get another knock at the door. I said, well, damn, who is it? It's her assistant, the one that she just hired on, Miss Lawrence. And she done rushed and took all these buses to get over to Delilah's house because she got something that she needs her to see. Okay? So Delilah, Miss Lawrence, and Mason sits down at the table, and she is showing her the files. First, she shows her some paperwork that shows that the equipment malfunctioned. And I guess these are ground accident reports that are directly from the military. So then Miss Lawrence is like, but I need you to really look at this one here. Look at this. Okay. Now, this particular file is on Nate, her brother. And it seems that he had experience with the radio. Remember when she asked him about the radio in either the last episode or the first episode? And he said that he had worked with it. Okay, and they just kind of thought it was like standard fare radio or whatever. Well, now we see that it's an account of what happened to her brother when he was injured in the military. And it says equipment malfunctioned. And she was just like, wait a minute, what? Equipment malfunction? No, because he told us that he was ambushed, that he doesn't really remember what happened, you know, like before and after or whatever, but he does remember that he was ambushed. But now the paperwork is saying equipment malfunctioned. And remember, these are the files that Gary had. So what is going on here? We need to have a conversation with Nate. And slowly we build the story. Sounds like there's a major cover-up that Nate and the military and this radio and Gary and Osborne Tactical and all of this was involved. So I guess we'll see, you guys. It's coming along. It's coming along. What you guys thought? All right, you guys, let me get off of here, get on to work. You guys make sure that you rate, comment, and subscribe to the channel. I'm itsrox. The channel is itsrox, and everything else I do will be in the bottom bar. All right. So I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day, and I plan on doing the same. Till next time, rock stars. Bye.